April 26th, so exactly 30 days after I got dinged in the helmet. For weeks now, we're taking sniper fire from this one building. And at this point, we made so much noise. We were stacking so many bodies that we had to send patrols out to move the fucking bodies because there was interrupting our fields of fire.
Holy shit.
And there were so many bodies being stacked that the locals were driving up their ambulances and picking up bodies also. And our main fight was the sniper alley. And we would see fighters in black man jammas, running left to right. And they were pushing our max ranges for our max velocity for our sniper rifles. Our 308s were not fast enough to like see them on the right side to hit them on the left side. We had no time to lead them in a very small window. So we were getting our paydays closer. So we basically stopped shooting at them, or we would shoot and purposely harass them. We would miss. We would just let you know we're there, because what we wanted to do is draw them in more. We wanted them to get comfortable and complacent. And so then we found out they were leaving telltale signs. They were leaving markings. They would leave rocks. They would have a runner that would come leave a rock by an edge and says, "Don't cross here. This is only for lookout." And they'd leave a can over here, and this is where you run. Because fighters, they're not on ICOMs. They're at the time, they're not on iPhones chatting to everybody. They're getting a very small brief and they're going to fight.
How'd you guys figure that out?
Observation.
How long did that take?
3 days.
3 days to figure out a rock is
because
a no-go and a can is go.
Because up to that point, we just looked at it as, at this point, we're looking at weeks, right? A couple weeks of what's happening. And then we're like, wait a second. They have a system in place that we're not seeing. So then we focus all of our efforts on specific observation. And it just kind of worked out that way.
But that's a good fucking pickup. Especially if you're talking, you're far enough away to where you can't kill these guys because the rounds aren't fast enough. They're too far away, and you're picking up cans and rocks. Is a go, no go.
Because when you're complacent, your enemy is complacent. You're a product of your environment. And the more harsh we were, the more fucking harsh these guys were. The more gray space we gave them, the more gray space they took advantage of. And so we just stopped. We changed it up a little bit. And we were like, hey, don't shoot. We let them fucking get some wins. Because I got an infantry platoon over here. They're gonna smoke these guys, but we don't wanna keep on smoking them right here. We want to figure out what the fuck's going on. And so now we bring in our Mark 19s to our rooftops, and we just dial this shit in.
So real quick for the audience, a Mark 19 is a grenade launcher and basically a fully automatic
grenade launcher. Very heavy. Looks like a fucking turtle with a big old unicorn spout. And little eggs come out of it. And those eggs go boom. And the machine gunners got super smart. Machine gunners were like, oh, bro, we're doing this. So we're bringing Mark 19s up there. We're revectoring our machine guns on there. And we're just dealing death. And it was crazy. It was literally fish in the barrel almost. Because one guy would poke out here and 3 guys would run that way. One guy would poke here and then 2 guys would run this way. So now we're like, okay, you take the left side, this phase line, you take the right side, this phase line, and that's how we're picking up. So now instead of trying to like lead them, we're holding on these places. So as soon as we hear an audible or we see it in the peripheral, then that is our trigger to engage. Because now we have someone in observation that's seen the whole thing, a little further zoomed out. We have guys on these 10 power fixed Johnny Nerdle scopes from Vietnam with silk webbing, right? Old school fixed power, in an urban environment is not ideal. Very, very scary. At least I thought it was, because you're instantly tunnel vision. And when you're tunnel vision down a tunnel vision channel, that's even scarier. Because there's a bunch of doors and windows and moving things and all sorts of things happening. And like, you have to have your head in a swivel. That's why we worked really well as a team. It sucked to not be on the sniper rifle, but being on observation was just important. Because it was a team thing, right? The only way we're going to win, the only way we're going to come out of this thing alive is we work together. And that's what I really enjoyed a lot about all that hell that we experienced. So we basically wrapped this up. We replaced our sniper rifles with machine guns, and the machine gunners they took care of the rest. We had a new point of friction was this house across the Joe Lawn Cemetery. And this is a really big cemetery, very ancient looking. And across the cemetery was a mosque, and right to the right of the mosque was this building with a blue satellite dish on top. This blue satellite dish house, we were always receiving pretty effective sniper fire from. And our commander, and at this time, we're in so much shit. We're calling in airstrikes on a nightly basis to the point where our whole house, Spooky was really big back in the day, Spooky, the C-130 gunship, just, our house was yawing. So much danger close fucking fire missions happening, 105s, 40 Mike, fucking you name it, it was happening. If it could come out of the sky and out of a plane and kill shit, it was coming. And that's how I attribute I could sleep through anything right now. Because you had to, like, you couldn't always fight. Every time there was a fight going on, you could run up, grab your shit, run to the rooftop, but you have to be smarter because the fight's going to continue tomorrow. And that's where that discipline of the warrior comes in, where, you know, it's if I'm needed, they will call me. You know, and that's hard to do because you want to be involved, you want to participate, but fuck, man, you can't run yourself ragged. You're in a deployment for 6 months. We've been here 4 weeks. There's a lot of shit. If this is 4 weeks into this thing, I can imagine what many more months is going to be like. And so we draw so much attention, like making headlines. Delta shows up to our position. And they're like, hey, we heard you guys were in the shit. And we're like, every fucking day. And they're like, well, hopefully we can help. They brought a bunch of experimental shit out there. They were a sniper element. And so it was super cool to like be around these guys and see a completely new version of professionalism. It's different aspect, different mindset of everything. And working alongside them, we're sharing hide sites together. We're sharing bunkers together. They're fucking teaching us how to shoot their 300 Win Mag, teaching us how to use their fucking, they had the horse vision back in the day. You know, like all these reticle options and optics and just learning so much information. And these dudes were down to earth. And we were kids. These are fucking men. These are old. That was an older breed back then. We're like 18, 19-year-old fucking googly eyes. Like, oh my God, look at their gear. Their gear's so cool. And listen to their stories. Well, now that we had them with us, our commander's like, you ever heard the name Doug Zimbak?
No, I haven't.
Major Zimbak is he was a man amongst men, right? He was called the Lion of Fallujah. Before we went into the city, he stood up on a tank and he said, the dogs of Fallujah will go fat off of feasting up the dead bodies we lay to waste. And that's exactly what happened. I actually have a dog with a hand in its mouth on my kneecap from that deployment. There were so many bodies that they weren't whole after a couple days. Legs, limbs, chunks were missing. You just see dogs running with fucking arms in their mouth, and you're desensitized. And you're like, you can't even make this shit up. And then so we start dropping bodies. Now there's bodies coming up from the fucking graves. And you're just like, this is hell.
Hey everybody, I'm Shawn Ryan. Click here to subscribe to the Shawn Ryan Show YouTube channel for the hottest and most compelling interviews that you will not see anywhere else. I've also made a playlist of all the previous SRS episodes so they're easy to find. You can find that right here.